Let me guess. Your friends keep telling you about how Final Fantasy XIV is free to play up to level 60 and you can experience the first expansion for the low cost of free. So you're just curious about the game then? Oh, well in that case, what's up, dude? Yeah, I was in your boat at one time too, and let me tell you, I bought the game and I never looked back. You might think that the $15 subscription model is a bit overpriced, but when you think about how you've been spending your money lately, this is kind of a godsend. For a month's worth of time, you can go through story content that is easily the best story right now available in MMOs. You can use your time wisely and get the full juicy juice out of your monthly sub. Or you can be like me and sit in Gridania while seeing a group of bards playing Megalovania on flutes. Regardless of what you do though, I will always say that $15 spent on a monthly sub is better than $15 spent at the movie theater. And there's no crying babies.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
All jokes aside, there are a bunch of race options to choose from, and the choice is entirely up to you. I personally am a fan of very tall women, but that doesn't mean you can't be a short king either. The customization options are fairly extensive, so make a character that you like and keep on moving up in the world because we're young and we can afford to take these risks, you know? Like, let's just move to another city and start a whole new life, you know? You've probably already heard about how good the Final Fantasy XIV story is, and no memes, it's true. I've caught myself wanting to blow past all side content and focus on just a main quest in order to gain closure. It's not just about the lore and the history of the world, it's about the execution of it, and boy do the devs succeed in this department. The devs usually make sure the experience is fairly cinematic, and they'll have either cutscenes or in-game cutscenes. It's pretty dope, and it sets the bar for how MMOs should handle things like this in the future. If you want an explanation for the story, I would highly suggest either playing the game, or watching this video that I linked in the description below. But at the very least, do not buy anything that skips expansions, or I will judge you every time I see you at the food court at the mall. Another thing Final Fantasy XIV is known for is its community. I'll normally just queue up to do dungeons or trials, and only a handful of times have I encountered really toxic people. That's not to say they don't exist, but with my personal experience, they get outweighed by the majority. The general attitude towards players is pretty welcoming overall, and if you take a gander at people's stories and stuff, you'll find a lot of people who have found lifelong friends through Final Fantasy XIV. So this begs the question, can you play the game solo, Alex? Well, yes and no. You'll still need to do group activities because, of course, it's an MMO, but the devs have done an amazing job in making everything doable for your everyday average Joe. Long story short, everything can be done without needing a guild/free company or friends, but they do make the experience that much more complete, and you'll have tons more fun. Give it a shot though, and I know you can do it, I promise you. Now for arguably my favorite part of Final Fantasy XIV, the gameplay. So Mr. YouTuber, streamer, Twitch man, why do you like it so much then? Well, now that you ask. Final Fantasy XIV's gameplay isn't too different from your traditional tab-targeting MMOs like World of Warcraft or Elder Scrolls Online. The thing I love about Final Fantasy XIV is that it was made with your average casual gamer in mind. So what does this mean? It's very accessible for people who have never played MMOs before, but at the same time it has that difficulty spike at endgame where you have people that are just too shook to try the endgame activities. So it has that perfect balance between difficult and easy to get into. So it's kind of like one of those Steam categories. Easy to get into, hard to master. Which leads me to my next point, accessibility. You can switch between classes and jobs without having to make alternate characters. Yes, ultimately it's gonna save you time and maybe even money, unlike other MMOs. My first role ever was a Lancer, and I remember those days like they were yesterday. Especially when I hit level 60 and dropped it for the Dancer class. My life has nearly quadrupled in excitement ever since. I will say though, if you can look past how slow the game can feel at the beginning and get to that point where your character's abilities are unlocked, it will continue to get better and better with more abilities. The fact that you can be a healer in one dungeon though, and you can just switch to a tank for another dungeon within seconds, it's pretty pog. The PvE content is so good. The music will just kick in and all of a sudden your shoulders are just rolling, and you're crying and happy screaming as you avoid a massive one-shot AoE attack while your healers are panicking every 3 seconds. It's seriously a good time. Every activity for the most part has its own music, so one dungeon's music is going to be different than the other ones. The music is what the kids would call lit, and it's probably one of the stronger things going for Final Fantasy XIV. All these pieces put together into a whole really make for a memorable time, and you don't even have to take my word for it. If you see any social media page or even Reddit, you'll know just how much this community loves the game. Hopefully we can see even more newcomers jump in for the long run though, because I promise you, you won't be disappointed. So, if this video influenced your decision on Final Fantasy XIV, at least play the free trial. Hopefully we can see even more newcomers jump in for the long run, because I promise you, you won't be disappointed. So if this video influenced your decision in playing Final Fantasy XIV, leave a like and tell me what job you chose. And for those who don't know, I do stream over on Twitch, so if you want to see me stream, and I stream fairly consistently, follow the link in the description, and I'll see you guys there, alright? So much love, and I'm going to catch you guys on the next video. Later!